Right, so now let's go to the next menu, which is members. Let's click on that. Under members here, you see all the members you have under this course. So I see me as an instructor, then you can have a fellow instructor as well. So you can keep adding, multiple instructor for the same course. You'll have to send them an access code. They will join in as a student, or you can invite them as well from here by sending them an email. So they will, whenever an instructor joins, they join you as a student, but later you can make them admin from the settings option. So for now he is an admin, so I can remove him from here from admin, and then I can make him admin again. Apart from that, you get list of all of your students, right? Up here you get an option. You can send a message to your students from here. You can change their passwords if you feel like. And then we have an option to unenroll. So if you wish, you can unenroll any student. I'm just gonna go ahead and unenroll this student. And yes, right. So now that student has been unenrolled. I think Jordan is one. Yes, so we unenroll Jordan. So now if I want him back in my course, I can do that as well. I just simply click on re-enroll. So this really helps. Let's say if you think that your access code which you provided to your students has been misused and there are some students who should not be there, then simply you can remove them from your course using this option. Then we have members, so this shows you only students here. It shows you only next is admin, so it shows you only admins. Then we have inactive, so if you have, so all the students whom you have removed from your course, you can see all of them here. Right, so now how do you invite people, right? How do you send an email to them? So under the members category, you go to this invite button here, you click on that, then you get an option that who would you use to invite, an instructor or a learner. So for, I'm gonna decide learners for now. And then all you have to do is enter their emails. You can put in as many as 100 emails at once. Just make sure that every email is separated by a comma or a semicolon, and you can send them an invitation. So once the student receives an email, all they have to do is, just click on that invite invitation link, and they can, if they haven't signed up, they can sign in. If they haven't signed up, they can sign up for the application. If they have already signed up, then they can, by clicking the link, they'll sign in and they'll get access to the course. Right, so as simple as that. So yes, that's all about the members. Now let's go to the most important part of our application, which is the course content. So course content is a place where you define your whole course, that the flow of the course, what all students will be learning. You can add few chapters here, from which student will learn. You can add test quizzes here. You can create assignments. You can add few file types here. File could be of any type. It could be a PPT file. It could be Excel file, a Word file, from where student can learn. They can download these files, PDF files, and then they can learn from that. Then we have link options. So if you have any in the link which is very informative for the students, you can leave that link here, and then they can learn from that particular link. I mean, it's whether it could be YouTube link or a Wikipedia link, anything like that. Then we have media, so you can create your own videos. So if you have created your own video tutorials, so you can upload, it could be of any length. It could be a 1 hour HD video or 2 hour HD video, doesn't matter. You allowed it as per your limits, how you want to teach your students, and then you can upload those videos and student can learn from them. Then we have discussions. So under this discussions part, which we'll see later up here in the menu. And so here students can discuss with, you can leave a topic of the discussion and the students can discuss. Right, so that's more or less what all you can do under the course content. That's basically the whole course is what falls here, right? And the most amazing part of the course content is that you can set few requirements up here, right? So we have an option here. So if I go to the edit option and I click on edit here, so now this gives me an option, through which I can set that how my student will follow this course. So now let's say if you want your student to must complete all of these requirements, right? So once he complete all of these requirements, all the requirements which you are mentioning here, then only he can move to the next part, else he will not. So here we have requirements. So first option is must complete all of these requirements. So student will have to complete all the requirements which are mentioned here, which you will create for yourself for the particular test, for a chapter, for a quiz, for an assignment, for discussion. Then only, the course will be marked as completed, else it won't be marked as completed. Then you can, add another option, which is must move through requirements in sequential order. So whatever is created here, whatever pattern it is lying here, they have to complete all of these things in the same pattern. If they do not do it, they cannot move to the next step before completing the first step. Then is must complete one of these requirements. So as they complete any of these requirements, they don't have to go through they don't have to complete basically all the requirements. They don't have to meet that criteria. So this is a major part of the requirements, and you can set it is really handy for you if you want your students to follow a particular structure, right? So they follow that particular structure only, they go step by step learning. It's really helpful. Then there's another thing which is really good and handy and important if you are following the step by step rule to teach your students, that is prerequisite. So let's say if I want my student to complete the module 1 and then only they can move to module 2, you can simply add a prerequisite here. So only after completing all the requirements which are mentioned in module 1, I can move to the module 2. So these are a few parts of your course content, how you can make it more interactive and more intuitive for your students. So now meanwhile, when we have done all this, let's go ahead and learn how to add a module. It's really easy. All you have to do is just click on add button here. You can type in your module name, you can add a publish date. If you want it to be published on a particular date, before that students will not be able to see this one. And then you can add a prerequisite, as I said earlier. So this will fall after the module 11, so you're getting all of the modules, whichever you want him to complete. If you want him to complete all the 11 ones, you can add all of these here, and then only he will be able to use the 12th module, right? Now let's see that what kind of requirements do we have. So everything has a different set of requirements. If you are setting a requirement for chapter, it has different requirements. For tests and quizzes, we have different, right? So let's understand what kind of requirements do we have, right? So let's open the first module here and see what all kind of requirements do we have here. So the first option which we have is introduction to business. It's a chapter, and the chapter has only view the item. Then we have a discussion over here, which is project team. For discussion, we have two kind of requirements which we can set: view the item, contribute to the page. Then third is just a file, right? So file has only one kind of option, which is view the item. So these are the requirements for these particular kinds. Now let's take a look at a test requirement. What kind of requirements does a test have, right? So let's see this here. Right, so this test for this module is a test and quiz, and this has score at least, view the item, submit the test. Three different kind of requirements which you can set. Then there's next assignment, and that assignment you have mark as done, submit the assignment, score at least. Multiple kind of requirements. And yes, in whichever module, if you have any test there and you want to add a certificate for that particular test, you can do that as well. So as the criteria has been met, that student will receive a certificate for that particular test, right? That yes, on this date you completed this module, and this is your certificate name and your university logo, and everything pops up there. This is customized as per the client's requirement. So the certificate has your university logo and the module name which the student has completed, the student's name, the date, and all of those things. This is another thing which could be added to the test specifically. So for test and for that you need to mention the criteria here. So you can just simply add in the points out of 100, how many points a student should score that he should be receiving that certificate. And once if the student receives 60 out of 100, he will get the certificate over his email, as well as he'll see that in his own login in the test page, from where he can download it anytime or print it anytime he wishes to do that. So that's how we create a course content. That's how we manage the course contents. The better you manage the course content, the better students will understand your course. Right, so next up here is announcement. So announcements are of two types. The first is the one which is created by an admin. So let's say if you're a university and you have an admin above you. So when that admin creates an announcement, all the instructor and students under that university will get that announcement on their homepage. As you log in, the first dashboard, if you remember, you get that announcement there right at the top. And if you are creating an announcement as instructor, the students will get that announcement in their course homepage, right? So that's pretty much about the announcement. We can see how to add an announcement. It's fairly simple. You just need to add a title here. enter the description that what this announcement is all about. You can attach a file if you wish to any, and then if you want to be scheduled to a particular date and time, you can do so. Else, as you save it, this will be published to your students and they will get it on their course homepage when they log in next time. Now let's move to the next part, which is discussions. So the discussion page, we get the list of our discussions, which are currently going on, and then we see the closed discussions, which we have closed. In the summary, we can take a look at the name, when was the last post done, and then we see the due date, and then we have the number of replies over this particular discussion, and then we have the settings option there as well. So you can simply close it for comments from here only if you wish to. Once you close it for comments, your students cannot comment over it, or they cannot like or do anything over the discussion page. So let's see how to add a discussion here. So it's fairly simple, just like assignments. You enter your title, you give the description for that particular discussion, then we have a due date, then we have allow grading. If you wish to grade this discussion, sometimes if it's just for fun or just for some class factor which you want to discuss, then you don't have to grade that. But if you wish to grade your students on the basis of the comments which they make over this discussion, then you can allow the grading. Then we have attachments, so if you want to attach any file. And then we have advanced section where we have only one option, as individually assigned. It is as same as the assignments, so we're not going to go through this again. And then you can save a discussion. For now, we're going to cancel it. To check out the look of the discussion, let's go and open this discussion, which is technology is killing human imagination. Right, so this is your description of the discussion, and here we have different comments being made by the students. Yes, this is again same like the comment section in the assignments, where you can reply, everybody can like, everybody can comment over each other's comment, everybody can reply to particular comments. But you as an instructor, yes, you hold the authority to delete any comment whenever you wish to, if you think it's inappropriate for this discussion type. Fairly easy and simple. So that's all about discussions. Now let's move to question bank. So question bank is great. So if you remember, while we were learning how to create a test, right, we added few questions from a question bank. So this is the place where you can create your own question banks in advance. You can do your homework well and can be prepared for yourself when you're creating tests and quizzes. So simply you just need to click on add button here, right? And then you can enter the bank name, description for it if you wish to. And I'm just going to open this bank which I've created previously. And then you can create a list of your questions here. If you wish to add questions, you simply click on add question here and can choose any of these 12 different type of questions. Right, so really easy to use. That's question bank, really handy, really helpful for the instructors. Now let's move to the next option, which is gradebook. So now this is a place where you mark all your students, right? So you see your learner name, you see their login name, and then you see all of these assignments. The one which are marked in orange are assignments. The one marked in the green here are the tests. The one which is marked in purple right here is a discussion, right? And then at the end you see total they have scored for the assignment, for the test, for discussion, and then here you see your total points. So this is your default view. So if your students have submitted paper hard copied assignments, right, then you can simply go ahead and mark them right here. If you have already marked them over the piece of paper, something like that, then you can simply keep marking them here. Really simple and easy for you, and it is really quick, right? And if you wish, you can add a filter here as well. So if I want to see only tests and quizzes, I select that only, and now I'll get a list of only tests and quizzes here, right? So now I see only these here, right? And total points of these only. Okay, so now let's switch to the individual view. So from here you can select the student whom you wish to mark. Let's select Jacob. You can select assignment, discussion, or test. Let's select test for here now, and then we select this test from here. So the first information you receive is grading info, how much he's already scored, so you know that. Then we have testing info, what all the scores have been received for this particular test. Then we have a learner info, his particular information about all the tests he has, all his grades for all the tests which he has submitted. And then we have submission info for this particular test. So now here you can see all his answer, and if you wish to make changes in any kind of marking, you can do that here, right? So this student has scored 20 out of 100, but if you remember in the graded info, it's showing 90 marks. That's because if you remember while we were creating tests, there was a settings account for multiple attempts, right? And we have selected highest, grading option there in the multiple attempts option. So for his current submission, he has done multiple submissions there. We've seen one submission he has been graded 10 only, in 120, and in 190. So if I want, I can make changes to this current one. I can add few points here, you know and then if I wish, if I know student has been good throughout the course, and I want to give him some extra marks, I can definitely give him those extra marks from here. I can add few extra points at his swatch point, and then you get a final score to be of 60. You can add a few comments for your student as well, and they can see those comments in their test page, and then we update the score. So that's pretty much about the gradebook. That's how the default view and the individual view works. And let's move to the next option, which is badges. So badges are fairly simple to use. These are default badges which you'll get by default. They helps you really in keep your students motivated. So you can assign these badges to your students, and you get to see these badges on their course homepage. Where we see the course summary for that particular course, they'll see these badges aligned there. If you wish to create your own badge, you can do that as well. All you have to do is click on add here, enter the title for the badge, enter some description, you know, choose an image from your computer which you would like to upload under this circle or star, and then you can simply, create your own new badge, just like the one which I have created here, which is a demo badge. And yes, it's really easy. All you have to do is just check mark these ones, and your students will see these badges on their course homepage. Perfect. So nothing fancy up here, really easy to use. Now next, we're gonna go to the course setting page.